Hi, I'm Candace and welcome to Fitness and Harmonies, Pilates Yoga Fusion for muscle connectivity. We're talking about feeling connected to our muscles. So one point I want to make clear before we get started is that yoga is sort of in a class all by itself. All of the personal training, all of the group exercise, all of the resistance training, all of the nutrition training that I've had doesn't talk about yoga. Yoga's over there, totally different certifications, totally different ideas. What we do here, though, is something unique. We fuse the mind and the body and the breath so that the muscles benefit by becoming more balanced because we're actually controlling the muscles as opposed to going through exercises that just strengthen the muscles and then hopefully strengthen the whole body. So let's start in a seated pose. So we'll start out with a breathing practice. We'll move the arms. Inhale, stretch up. And then exhale, just let the arms back down. Inhale through your nose up, stretch up. And then exhale through your mouth, let the arms float down. 2 more times. We're going to do a lot of strengthening exercises today that allow you to fuse the core strength with muscle awareness. Now inhale up and then stretch up and over. Inhale back up. When you exhale, pull the belly in. Do that again. Inhale up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, squeeze the belly inward, upward. 1 more time. Exhale, find contraction and connectedness. Come up, turn to one side and let the arms down. Now gently let your head circle slowly around. So what I want you to try to begin to do now is to shift from the place of all of the problems and the worries and the things that you were dealing with, all of your processes, to a more receptive state. Drop your head down. Rock your head side to side. Lift your head up. Turn back to the front. Let's do all of that again, just the breathing practice. Inhale up. Just let the arms float down. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Notice any tension that you may be building or releasing in your shoulders. So one more time like this. Keep shifting from reactivity to discovery. So this time, inhale up. Exhale over to one side. Inhale up, lengthen, expand. Exhale over to the other side. So don't rush anything. Inhale. Come up, turn in the opposite direction, let the arms float down. Again, let your head bobble around softly, making like a figure 8 pattern where you're gently twisting and beginning to feel the connectivity. The head is connected to the body. That's one of those magnificent things that I get to say. The head is connected. So I want you to begin to notice the feelings. Now drop your head down. Then turn your head side to side, so twist. Lift your head all the way back up, come back and into center. Let's come around to hands and knees pose and we'll begin moving the spine. So recently, I've made these practices a little bit more challenging. So I want to keep repeating to you, watch where you're going. Watch those warning signs that says, I don't know if this is good for me. So as you press into your hands, make sure you're not dumping your body weight into the heels of your hands. We're going to do quite a bit on our fingers and on our arms today. So make sure that you have the strength in your fingers. So like you know how to play the piano, whether you do or you don't. Now move from cat, rounding the spine, to cow. Gently make microscopic movement connections. That's going to be my word or phrase. Microscopic movement connections. Many times, if you've done yoga, I know you have, I could spend 10, 15 minutes just talking about how your mind is feeling in a particular muscle and asking you to locate the muscle. But in Pilates, we begin to control and discipline the muscle. So now, push back into a childlike pose. A childlike pose. That's funny. And then come up and extend into a cow-like pose. It's cow. Hinge, or I should say push a little bit further forward from your usual cow. Then push back into child. Pose, rounding the back and soaking down. Come up, extend the spine, push forward into, a forward cow. And then push back into child's pose. So do a few of those on your own. Play around with the feeling of uniting the mind and the breath. So don't hurry the breath to the muscular balance. So the body in Pilates is really about how the muscles interact with each other. That's a really powerful thing. Are you saying my biceps are interacting with my calf? Yes, they are. They're all connected through a webbing called fascia, which is kind of like a spider's web. That in a spider, if you touch part of the web, the spider knows it. It has like a communication wire. So our body is connected even more intricately and more intelligently than that. Come up into downward dog, so make your way microscopically, moving muscle by muscle, fascial web by fascial web. Now widen your feet. I'm going to actually take my feet off the edges of the mat so that my feet are wider. Bend the knees and push the hips back. And then move sort of forward like you're coming into a plank pose. Bend your knees and push your hips back. Kind of straighten your legs, and that sort of propels your body a bit forward. Try a few of these. Building core strength and muscular integration and interaction. So yeah, there's my calves working with my biceps. I was sort of kidding, but yeah, they are connected. And then make your way down to hands and knees. Extend one leg back without hyperlifting. That is, don't lift. Here's a word Uber. Don't Uber lift that hip up. Keep the hip down. Reach the other arm forward. This exercise is usually called bird dog exercise, and it really is one of the most important exercises to spinal strength and stability. So it's always prescribed in any physical therapy that has to do with healing your back. And come down, try the other leg. Remember, when you lift one leg, you brace the abdominals and you don't Uber lift that hip. So keep the hip kind of down. In a moment, we're going to do a twisting open action. Reach the opposite arm forward. So an equal oppositional energy as the hand is moving forward. The legs are moving, or the one leg is moving backward, uniting everything in the middle to muscular integration. So yes, my pinky finger knows what my pinky toe is doing. There's muscles in those things, Come all the way down, move from cat to cow. Let's go back to the beginning, or not the very beginning. Push back into child, not the very beginning. Come up into cow. Tip a little bit forward, cow tipping. Boy, I'm really good today. Push back into child. Come up into cow, lean a little bit forward, come back to a flat, balanced spine, turn the toes, move to downward dog. Widen your feet, maybe wider than your mat, bend both knees and push the hips back. Now hold there, see if you can lift one arm and twist. So you're dropping the head, the neck, the shoulder, and the arm down, letting the arm either, grab on your foot or something, or just push down into the floor, or just twisting the upper back. Bring that hand back to the front. Then if you can, lift the other hand, turn and twist like you're looking under this arm. The hand can reach back and grab the leg, or it can just push or hold on to the floor. And then bring the hand back. Now begin to walk your feet forward into like a forward fold. Put all of your weight on your feet. And then walk your hands up your legs and into a standing pose. Let's say I'm mostly still on camera. this is a Pilates transition. So in yoga, many of you know, we're always using downward dog and low lunge as a transition. But this is the Pilates transition from standing to being down on the floor. So I'm going to go up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And I'm going to meet you up here. So you might just watch instead of doing this with me. So inhale the arms up, extend back, uplift the front body. Now curl the upper back like you're diving in a pool. Curl the upper back, the middle back, the lower back. Pause with me here a second because I want to make sure that you're knitting the abdominals together and hollowing that belly out. Then once you've curved into the tightest cat ball you can, then rock the pelvis forward and come down. What we're going to try to do is walk our hands out to the other edge of the mat, ending up in a plank pose. It should take 4 steps, 4 handprints. That's 1, walk forward 2, walk forward 3. Now when you pick up this hand, you bring the hands parallel, level to each other, come into a plank pose, and then you walk back using your other hand first. That's 1, 2, you can bend your knees. Let's say you have really long legs. 3 and 4, this should be that forward fold we were in. And now roll up. Use your hands to push off your legs, but focus on pulling the skin of the lower belly up and under the ribs and hollowing out the belly and rounding the back. So it's not just about coming up, it's about articulating and making microscopic movement integrations. Inhale up. Exhale back, inhale up. So the arms just come forward, but really what's happening is you're making this big hunchback. The head goes down and the upper back rises up, so the low back is lifting. And then you knit the ribs together in front, crunching the abdominals, then pulling the navel up under the rib cage. So round the back like a cat pose as much as possible, then begin to hinge at the hips. So curl, 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 like you're trying to get the back of your head on your lap. Come down to a forward fold. Walk out 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Align. Strengthen. Hold. And then step back 4. 1. Bend your knees. 2, 3, 4. You've got it. So coming up, peeling like you're peeling a sticker off the wall. Carefully, let's do this again. Inhale up. Exhale. Remember, this is the dive and pull. If it helps you to do this with your arms so that you can lift the chest, the rib cage up into the back and squeeze. Now pull the ribs down onto the pubic bone. So crunch everything into a small ball. Once you're there, then hinge the hip, dive forward, 4 steps out. Here we go. 1, 2, you're doing it. 3, 4, remember body weight in the fingers, not the heel of the hand. Walk back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now drop the tailbone down, round the sacrum, round the lumbar spine, round the thoracic spine, all the way up. So I think that was what I said I was going to do. Down, up, down, up, down, up, and now we're up. So come a little bit closer to the front so that you have space behind you. I'm going to face you. I'm going to face you so you can see what I'm doing. However you do it is fine. So I'm going to call this bowler. Bowler. Are you ready for this? We're going to bend both knees and hold the abdominals in. Take a second just to find balance here. I said our overall arching goal in Pilates is muscular balance. But in yoga, it's integration and awareness. It doesn't say anything about the body. The body is just a path to awareness. So chew on that for a moment. Balance on one leg. My feet are doing much better today, by the way. And then take one leg behind. You can take that arm back if you want, if that helps you see what we're doing. And then come sort of down. Have you ever done this action before? Come back up. All right, so be really careful here. All right, ready? Balance on one leg. Take that leg that you came up off the floor, cross it behind. It can touch the floor or maybe not, whatever you want to do. Maybe it helps you to take this arm back and then forward, come down and back up. So now slowly down. This is all about muscular balance and training. If you don't believe that this is about balance, well, you probably have already fallen. Or I've met people with such good balance, they don't understand what I'm talking about. They go, what's hard about any of this? Well, I don't have to think about this. Well, maybe, you were just born with it, or maybe, it's makeup. You remember that. So with this kind of discovery and control, remember, we're shifting from reactivity. Like even if you're falling, you're not just reacting to that, you're making microscopic movements. For example, this front knee is learning about how the bigger muscle on the top has to integrate with the smaller muscles on the bottom. Inhale, exhale. If you can breathe, you can do Pilates, right? With me, anyway. Keep hollowing out the abdominals. And so I'm asking you to do many of these because there's so many things you could focus on. I want you to see where that light of attention is. What do we say to children? Watch what you're doing. Watch out. What does that mean? Watch out. It means danger. You're running into something. So watch into the body. 2 more times. Keep pulling and knitting the abdominals and keep realigning in gravity. Don't forget to throw the ball. I'm forgetting to throw the ball. That was 2. So this is 1 and come back up. Oh, you did great. Fantastic. Circle up. Extend back. That Pilates dive. Remember, hollowing out, scooping out the core. Scoop, 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 scoop. Walk into plank so I can do hands forward and feet back. Come down to the forearms. So walk one forearm down and then making the elbows, the forearms, and the hands parallel to each other. Hold there. 2 good breaths. And then lower all the way down. All right, give me a second to set this one up. Walk your knees out wide. Bend your knees and bring your toes, there they are, toes together. Let's spend a few seconds here. Breathe space into your low back. The idea in Pilates is never to crunch. I really have to think of ways to say round and articulate without using the word crunch, because the word crunch, well, first of all, reminds me of those things that go on ice cream, and then, I can't think of anything else. But the word crunch sort of implies that we're shortening and we're compressing something we're not. Here we go. Inhale the low back, exhale the low back. So not the crunch, not the compression, but always opening. All right, we're going to integrate whatever back muscles are. Back muscles are confusing to us because we can't see them. And even if you look at somebody who has like great back muscles, it's usually they're not really distinct. So you're not like, oh, look at the traps on that person. You don't do that. Here we go. Inhale. Now as you exhale, try lifting your thighs, your legs up off the floor. Inhale them back down. Now, as you exhale, straighten your legs kind of out and they widen. Now, as you exhale, in one scooping motion, bring the toes together, bend the knees, and lift the thighs. Inhale down and out. The legs are turned out. I hope I said that. Exhale together and lift. Inhale down and out. Exhale together and lift. Inhale down and out. So if you don't believe me that there's already muscular integration and muscular interaction, notice your neck and shoulders right now. I didn't tell you to do anything with your neck and shoulders, yet there they are, right? They're what am I doing? My feet can't even find each other back there. I thought you said they talk to each other. Eventually, they figured this out, right? 2 more times. Lengthening that low back. That's the most important thing here. Lengthening the low back. I think you've got it now. And then release the legs down. Push back into child's pose. Feel free to let your knees really widen like in a frog pose here, though, because we're just working the inner part of the gluteals, the inner part of the thigh. That was good. We're building flexibility and balance together. So the flexibility is one of the main principles that Pilates and yoga share, this flexibility. Pilates doesn't have any long holds. In fact, Pilates is really quite fast because it's asking your mind to wake up, wake up, wake up, so that the muscles interact fully. You may not believe this, but you're half asleep. You know, most of your neurons in your muscles are trying their hardest to ignore you. So you have to keep saying to them, wake up, wake up, wake up. All right, wake up. Come up into hands and knees. Extend one leg back. You remember this from before. But I said, then we were going to twist open. Remember before I said, don't lift that hip? Lift the hip. Maybe the hand has to come up with it. Turn. You may need to reorient this bottom leg so you're more on almost the side of the knee. And then from here, kick this top leg forward and back. Forward and back. Once again, we're in a precarious position where you're trying to figure out, is this an ab exercise? Is this a leg exercise? Is this a hand exercise? Is this a shoulder exercise? And of course, the answer is yes. Make microscopic movement interactions to strengthen but also lengthen. So even though this leg is moving, don't let the upper body wobble. So some muscles are learning about stability and stabilizing. Some muscles are assisting. That's a technical term, assisting. The way it actually is, it's the muscle that's holding on to aim your movement. And then bring that leg down. Push that foot into the floor. So push that foot into the floor. See if you can levitate this bottom knee off the floor. Maybe the answer is no. You see me wobbling here. The answer was challenging for me. And then bring that knee back down. Turn back into hands and knees pose. Hands and knees pose. And then that leg you just lifted is the one that extends back. There you go. You got it. Now twist the hip open. Come all the way onto your side. Is that the way to say this? That your knee and your hand and these hips are stacked. So stabilize, stabilize. Then as this top leg sort of swings back and forth, there are muscles in your hip right now that are assisting. So anytime you reach for something, so the classic example is, you grab the fork and you scoop some peas up, and then, you put the fork in your mouth. If you weren't aiming, then, it would never happen. So aim your mind. This is a weird thing, right? This isn't getting any food in your mouth. So aim your mind at your hips and the musculature around your hips to stabilize the upper body. Keep shifting your mind from just reacting to, I don't know what's happening here, to dialing in. More and more. 3, 2, and 1. Bring this top leg down. We're going to the back after this, so meet me there. Lift this bottom knee. And see if you can hold. Don't hurt the shoulder. Try not to get that shoulder get away from you. Then come all the way down to a seated pose. Let's circle these wrists around. If you did that side plank with me, you feel that. I always like doing this. I try to do this in as many classes as possible because it looks so cute. Well, there's all doing this. And then wave your hands, thumb to pinky, thumb to pinky. It just looks adorable. This is just for me. And then crack your hands out. I'm turning the palms out, but you do one and then do the other. And then bring your feet to the floor. Okay, we're going to practice the roll up and roll over. Boy, they sound like such easy things to do, but they're kind of the hardest things that we can possibly do. We started out practicing this when we were diving over and down, so keep that same concept of articulating one by one by one. Here we go. Inhale, stretch the arms up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, roll all the way down, rounding the back, scooping, scooping, scooping. When you come all the way down, push your arms and the backs of your shoulders into the floor, then lift the legs. Inhale. Now as you exhale, brace and pull the abdominals down. Draw the knees in, lift the tailbone up off the floor and push with your arms. Inhale. Exhale, unround. I should say straighten out the back. Bring the feet back to the floor. Inhale, the arms up overhead. Exhale, roll up. Rounding, rounding, rounding. Again, let your goal be this rounding and articulation, not the coming up, coming down. Inhale as you come up. Exhale, roll all the way down to the floor. This is as hard as it gets, guys. Inhale, push the arms down. Exhale, lift the knees up. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, squeeze the belly, draw the knees towards the chest, curl the tailbone off the floor, push the arms into the floor, lift the hips up off the floor. Inhale. Exhale, roll slowly all the way down. Return the feet to the floor. Inhale, the arms up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, round all the way up. Now, it may take you a couple of breaths. It's taking me a while to explain this. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, roll all the way back and down. Inhale, push the hands into the floor. Exhale, levitate the knees. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, roll over. So curl, 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 curl the hips up off the floor. Inhale. Exhale, roll all the way down. Returning the feet to the floor. Inhale, the arms overhead. Exhale, roll the upper body up off the floor. Round, round, remember rounding, 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 curling. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, roll down. I guess one more set. Inhale, the arms into the floor. Exhale, the knees up. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, knees to chest, round from the tailbone. Lift the low back. Inhale. Exhale, roll down. So this is the last time. Inhale, the arms overhead. Exhale, roll all the way up. I'm feeling this today, guys. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, we're going to roll down and we're going to stay down. Best word you've heard today. Once you get there, cross one ankle over the other knee. Draw both legs in towards the chest. Pause and reflect. So close your eyes. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good, good, good work. This class is a really good one to repeat. Maybe 2 days from now, repeat this one and see if the cueing of your muscles gets a little smoother each time. Inhale. Exhale. Let's switch legs. Once you get into this pose where you're pulling this cross-legged forward in towards your chest, close your eyes. And restore the body. We used a lot of energy in those last few, that thing where we were diving down and walking out and going into plank and then going into side plank. Refuel. So let all the air come in. Let it percolate. You know that word. Let it bubble. Let it diffuse and be infused into the cells. Take your time and acknowledge and, of course, accept. Maybe you couldn't do any of those things and you were breathing. Better to breathe than anything else. Last breath. So we're going to unwind and straighten the legs all the way up. Stretch the arms out, push them into the floor. Take a second to neutralize the spine. I don't think that's the way you say that. Make the spine neutral so that it's not curled under. I was commenting on how in our car seats, they tip us backward and round us like we're sort of in the cockpit of your rocket. So try to be like a straight L, straight spine, straight legs. Don't worry about the legs, but straight spine. That's neutral. So when I say neutral, the spine, neutral spine. Engage the abdominals and lock the lumbar spine in place. We're going to try dropping one leg a bit down and then back up, then dropping the other leg a bit down and back up. Now point the ankle feet, right? And drop and lift and drop and lift. Now, I'm going to say go further. As one leg goes down, this leg that was up, see if it'll come in more. Then switch and switch and switch. Now kind of keep going with your legs if you can, right? That's the pat your head. Now we're going to rub the belly. Neutralize the spine. The thing that I was telling you to do before, make the spine straight by tightening the belt around the waist. 3, 2, and 1. Leave that there, whatever leg. Rotate whatever leg's on the bottom out. Twist it open. We're going to drop it down and up. Down. So it's okay if the knees bend. It's okay if the legs, tipping off to the side. That's okay. Squeeze and neutral. I'm going to keep you seeing. Neutralize the spine. Pull the abdominals in. Drop and lift. Drop and lift. Now we're going to pulse down for 3. So down, 2, and 3, then lift up. Down, 2, and 3, lift up. By now, little oblique here, little muscle there, right in that lower belly is beginning to go, yeah, I think I've got this now. That's muscular integration. That's the muscles talking to each other, interacting with one another, and creating an overall stability where they're assisting each other. Wouldn't it be a wonderful, peaceful body if all the muscles learned to work together? 2 more times. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Don't forget to exhale. And then lift that leg all the way up. Let's go to the other leg. So twist the other leg, so the thigh turns out. Drop it down and up. Again, if it goes off to the side, that's fine. If the knee bends a lot, that's fine. What is not fine is your low back wobbling around. So let's say, knock on wood, you have some compression in your low back. Compression where 2 things come together. So the compression would be, 2 of the vertebrae are hitting each other or they're too close. And the stuff in between them is getting squished. An impingement kind of situation. Down 3, up 1. So it's down, 2, 3, lift up. If you were in that situation of you have some compression, whatever you want to call it, whether there's bone spurs, arthritis, whatever you want to call it, the ability for your abdominals to hold those bones open is the difference between pain and not pain. The only reason to do a medical intervention like surgery is because of pain. Squeeze, 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 and lift. So when I say squeeze, remember it's that little oblique muscle down there by your hip that's working really hard to aim and hold. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Don't forget to exhale. 2 more times. So cue the pattern with your mind and fuse your mind to the movement. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Last one. And then let's hug the knees in and take a breath. Exhale out. That was good work. All right, I'm going to try your choreography skills here. Take the heels together and widen the knees. I'm pushing the arms down. Push the heels up and squeeze the back of the inner thigh, knees together. Flex your feet, then drop your legs down away from you like a fishtail. Point your toes, lift the legs back up. Flex your feet. Here's where we bend the knees. So it's going to go down, up, away, I'll call it, and back up. So for the knees, they're bend, straighten, hold straight as the leg levers down, and lift back up. For the feet, it's flex when the knees go down and up, then point as the legs go out, and then back up to flex. So don't worry if you don't have all those pieces and parts. All right, so this reminds me, I don't know, some sort of like frogfish thing happening. But the whole point of this was to make your mind wake up. Remember I was saying wake up, wake up, wake up. So tell your mind that there's 650 plus muscles and every single one of them has to be doing something. Every single one of them has a part in keeping you whole and healed. Breathe in, breathe out. When you squeeze the legs together, really squeeze the legs together. I see you're doing great. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep a connection. The legs they're sticking into each other. Like Velcro, right? They're holding on to each other so hard that they pull stuff off of other stuff if they have to. Don't forget, flipper the feet in whatever way. Nobody's out there saying, oh no, you didn't flipper your feet the right way. I'm sorry, you're not doing Pilates. I don't know that would have been an important thing. But Joseph Pilates did train dancers, very important part of why Pilates became a popular method is because dancers needed a lot of control. 2 more times. Brace and awaken the abdominals. Awaken the abdominals. Good. Take your time, roll to one side. Try to catch that foot. I have my ring here, so I'm going to use the ring to catch my foot and pull my leg back and down. So if you don't have a ring, try your hand. You don't have a hand. If your hand doesn't reach, use a strap. All right, soak in those quadriceps in front of the thigh. We did a lot of work from that bowling movement. Remember that curtsy thing? To that glute lift. And the thing we just did, that fishtail. Give this another 3 breaths to slowly let the changes awaken themselves. So you're kind of conscious of some of it, but then it goes on. The lesson goes on. Take your time. Move to the other side. Catch your foot. Pull it towards your hip. Ooh. Press that thigh bone forward. So open up a space between kind of what you think of as the body and the leg. You know, that crease there, open that up. Contract your hamstring. So with your mind, squeeze the muscle on the back of that leg, a ham curl. Unify your purpose. Remember, for yoga, it's mostly awareness. But the integration of Pilates is almost the same idea, that we're bringing together the mind, the body, and breath to balance forces. 2 slow breaths. Good, and then come into Shavasana. Now, there are people who like to take Shavasana on their stomach. So you figure out how you want to be supported here. And once you get there, Slow down. Close your eyes and slow down. Allow yourself to gently float away from the practice, away from the effort. Allow yourself to soak in the energy you've created with kindness and tranquility. Open up the cells of your body to integrate their newfound balance. Imagine that the body is getting stronger because you're relaxing. Because you're releasing. Because you're dwelling in this feeling of being expansive. So as you expand and feel lighter and you're floating, clear your mind of extraneous thoughts, any unnecessary energy. Let the organs in the body dwell in a newfound sea of restorative energy that you have created by your efforts. Now breathe the belly and stir up courage. When you relax the belly, let that newfound energy swirl around and spin its way through your body. Breathe the belly, stir up courage. Let your mind follow streams of courage, confidence throughout your body. Do the muscles and the bones. Feel the warmth and the tingling through the arms and the legs. Sigh. Sigh out compassion for others. May we all be happy. May we all be free from suffering. Sigh, like you're blowing out. Sigh out. Move the world, unifying all of us. A deep breath in and let it go. Make your way back onto your side. And then when it's time, open your eyes and move back up to a seat. Inhale when you're ready and stretch up. Exhale over to one side Make a big circle with this top arm. And then inhale all the way back up. Exhale over to the other side. Make a big circle with this top arm. So all the residue is now clear. Inhale all the way up. That's it. And exhale, you're all done. I appreciate you. Thank you, everyone.